Miss Val has really helped me find my voice. I think coming from the elite gymnastics world, I was really more quiet and just determined and focused. But coming to UCLA, she's really brought out a different side in me and showed me that there's different ways to live your life. You don't have to be like so hard on yourself every day. So she's definitely brought a lot of fun and great energy to my life.
I've known Miss Val for a while. One of the biggest things of why I wanted to come to UCLA was because I wanted to engage with Miss Val, just because she really looks at developing the person over just the gymnast. I found just a new appreciation for gymnastics and for just life in general, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I thank her for.
She's taught me to be grateful every single day for everything around me, and her quote, not her quote, but one that she lives by is be anxious for nothing and grateful for all things. And every day I try to think about that and think of something that I'm grateful for.
Truly one of the great mentors and coaches in all of college athletics, and she joins us on the pregame now. Valorie Kondos Field. First of all, your reaction, obviously, to the dead.
I love you guys.
The love is unbelievable out here.
Love you guys. We love you.
When you're listening to your girls talk about you and the impact that you've had, I know that you understand that you've impacted a lot of student athletes, but when you actually hear it from their mouths, what does it make you feel like?
It's a bit overwhelming because when you live it every day, you don't really realize the impact, and it is daunting because the things they remember, the things they remember you said, the things they remember you didn't say, what you did do, what you didn't do. I've never been a parent. I can't imagine how much more daunting it is to be a parent, but ridiculously rewarding.
Well, you say that you haven't been a parent, but I think there are a lot of people out there that would disagree, and they all say that you are like their second mom. Your story is incredible. For those that maybe don't know, you're a former ballerina, professional ballerina, who was hired as the head coach at UCLA 28 years ago. You have announced that you're retiring. This will be your last season leading the Bruins. So I'm curious. I got to ask you about this, too. You just finished a book, which I cannot wait to read. I'm going to steal this copy.
Okay, please
Life
steal
is
it.
short. Don't wait to dance.
Don't wait to dance.
Why this book and why now?
This book because when I was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago, I had this realization that we all have an expiration date, just don't know when it is. So I've got a massive bucket list, including theater projects and a Broadway show and writing a book. And I thought I'd always write it after I retired. But then I realized, guess what? None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. And so I thought, what am I waiting for? Let's write the book. And I was writing it, obviously, I was a ballet dancer, and dance is a metaphor, right, for anything that makes your heart sing. But as I was getting through the book and writing about Coach Wooden, and I remembered being with him the last few years in particular, when people would ask, do you have any regrets? And he would always say, my wife Nellie loved to dance, and I was never a very good dancer, and I was always very shy. And if I never danced with my wife. And he said if I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't worry about what people would think of me dancing. I would dance with my wife. So this is an homage to Coach Wooden.
That is unbelievable. And you've been, by the way, we've had several of your colleagues here compare you to the great John Wooden, and with good reason.
Wow. I don't even know where to go with that. I'm sitting here right now just in awe, and I would echo exactly what Ashley said, having coached myself. We always said we had one daughter and 200 sons, and I'm sure all those young ladies look at you as a mother and a second mother to them. I'm curious, your husband also coached here at UCLA. I think was even the D coordinator when I got recruited here, and I'm wondering, were there times on Saturday nights you guys would get home after a game, maybe it didn't go so well for Bob, and you sat down and you're like, come here, honey, let me help you out a little bit with some things that maybe didn't go well for you. Did those conversations ever happen?
I'm going to share something with you, and I'm going to throw myself under the bus right now. So after our first year of marriage, with me, it's all about choreography. So I love football because I love the choreographic flow, right? And I looked at him and I said, because I knew he was the defensive coordinator calling the plays, and I said, I don't get it. Why don't you just call the play where the DB goes down, intercepts the ball, and runs it back for a touchdown? Every time you call that play, it works. I stopped short of saying you idiot, but.
Coach Val, my question is such a daunting task, it appears to me. A ballerina becomes head gymnastics coach. How did that feel with it? I don't know if it's much of a transition because it's all artistic, but just to know that you have influence over young ladies like that.
You know, it's a rather long answer to that, and I'll make it brief. I had to really figure out my why. And since I didn't grow up in athletics, I don't have that, kill at all costs and let's win in my bones. I don't feel that. So I had to figure out why I was doing this. And my why was because, oh my gosh, look at what these athletes can do and look at the life lessons you can teach in the gym. Let me focus on that. And because we're UCLA and we can recruit talent, if I focus on that and focus on developing champions in life, that will translate to the competition floor.
That's awesome.
You are one of the most eloquent guests we've had on the Pac-12 Network and obviously on the show. I love every time we get to interview you because I feel like you just drop these pearls of wisdom. You had a quote when you were interviewing with our Sam Peshek just a few weeks ago when you announced your retirement, and it was a great story. You said when you were writing this book that you're co-author, you said you thought everyone was going to think you were a whack job.
Yes.
And he said that's a good thing.
Yes.
Tell me that story.
It was about 5 months ago, and I said, I can't write the book. I'm sorry, I just can't. And he said, why? I said, people are going to think they're going to glean all this wisdom from the 7-time national championship Hall of Fame coach, and they're going to read the book, and they're going to realize I'm a total whack job. And he looked at me so seriously, and he said, you are a whack job. That's why you have to write the book, because you give all of us whack jobs permission just to be ourselves. I said, okay, I'll write the book.
That's the good news. We are all whack jobs.
We are.
Here's
Deep
to
down,
whack
here's to whack
jobs.
jobs.
Own your inner whack job.
I think Lincoln's a little too in touch with his inner whack.
Hey, leave my whack
Some
job
of us are
alone.
more in touch than others. All right, you're a breast cancer survivor, an author, a coach, a mentor, a mom, a second mom to many. One last question for you. Do you sing?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Of course you do.
I grew up singing in the
sing.
Greek church choir.
Wow. You know what? That
All
doesn't
right.
surprise me. I thought you were going to say no, but of course you said yes.